Joy, have you ever seen it where a team is getting beat so bad, they literally change the games nationally? Like, that happens maybe once every 4 years.
It doesn't happen that often in the NFL because there's usually aren't blowouts like
Correct.
this.
Like, I literally heard, we're going to take you to a more competitive matchup. And they switched from the Cowboys game. Y'all realize producers work countless and tireless amounts of hours to put the Cowboys on TV. So for the Cowboys to whoop the Vikings so bad that they took America's team off TV says something. To me, I saw a statement being made, but Joy, did the Cowboys put the whole NFC on notice?
No, I can't go that far. Look, I'm not surprised about the Vikings. Who told you? Just listen to your boy. I tried to tell you about the Vikings. But the Cowboys, I feel like I've seen maybe not this much of a beatdown, but I've seen them do sneaky little things like this before. I've seen Dak have big games. I've seen them put it all together. Certainly, I'm not surprised by the defense, who had a tremendous day yesterday, obviously. I can't go that far with the Cowboys. What have I been saying about the Vikings all along? I will be the last one on the bandwagon. I'll be the last one to another bandwagon as well, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. I have this feeling that I've seen these things before. And until I see them do, not this, but until I see them perform in the postseason, I'm just quietly watching, enjoying the football, enjoying watching this defense, Micah Parsons and everyone fly around. It's exciting.
Crazy.
Going crazy.
Yeah.
But I got to see it in the postseason. So I can't go as far as to say they put everyone on notice.
Dave, let me boost up your intelligence for a moment for the viewer. You put out a tweet yesterday that I found fascinating, and it really spoke to the fact that you know more about Cowboys football than anybody on television.
Gas me up, King. Let's go. Gas me up.
You said that this was the most impressive Cowboys victory, at least one of the top 4 you've seen in your 10 years of covering the team since 2012. Those other victories were what? And then talk to me about this one. Did the Cowboys put the NFC on notice?
This is right up there with any that I've seen. The other ones that came to mind, when Dak was a rookie, they had a couple. They beat up on a couple playoff teams. They went to Lambeau Field and beat Aaron Rodgers by 2 touchdowns. 2014, the year after they grabbed the division lead from y'all two up in Philly, it was a baseball hat game.
Shots fired.
It was like, win this game and you get the division. They crushed an 11-5 Colts team, 42-7. It was when Andrew Luck was still there. Put it on them. But this was right up there with any of those. And Joy, I agree with your points to a degree, but where I differ, and it's not the postseason, that's fair. We just have to wait and see what happens there. Totally fair. But this is different for one specific reason. During Dak Prescott's career, the Cowboys have been very good at beating up on bad teams. This, we can have a conversation about whether or not the Vikings are frauds. They're 8-2 with a negative point differential. Take that for what it's worth. That's just a fact. So I'm not trying to sell you that the Vikings are the best team in the league, but this was a team that's going to be in the playoffs. Like, even with the loss, the Vikings are 99% locked to win their division. They're going to be part of the postseason, and they're not an NFC East team. This is not the common type of opponent that you play twice a year, every year. So to go to their house and do that, it's incredibly impressive. I don't know how you could see it as anything other than a statement, knowing that this team is capable of doing that. We've seen it from their defense, right? With every game, really, except the Packers, this defense has dictated the pace. They've gotten sacks. They've gotten takeaways, all that good stuff. Now you partner it with an offense that is capable of looking like that. 40 points, 458 yards of offense.
This team sounds great, don't they?
7 straight scoring drives. 8 out of 10 on the day. 8 out of 10 possessions ended in points. It's a statement. I'm not saying the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl or anything crazy like that, but it is a statement that I have not seen this team make in 10 years.
Oof.
Yes.
I like that point. Did they make a statement, Big Dog?
I would say they made a statement. I thought that they showed that they could be a physical team, right? I thought that they couldn't be that. The games that I did watch, they got ran over. They didn't look physical. They got bullied. And they showed that they can be bullies, right? If you really watch that game, shout out to Kellen Moore. He did a great job as an OC. He had the most effective, the most game plan that you can have for the Cowboys, right? They ran the ball all day from start to the end. I mean, if you look at their running backs, right, it was 40 carries, right? Now, Dak Prescott, I want to get on Dak Prescott, right? Okay. Now, I gave the Cowboys they love.
You did.
They did a good job, and they put everybody on notice. But let's talk about Dak here, right? So, Dak.
Which part?
You said he played a great game.
He played better than Kirk?
He did play better than Kirk. Okay. But you said he played a great game, right?
Just making sure.
And you also said that you like the last segment you talked about Herbert, how he had 80 yards in the air. Well, Dak averaged 5 yards in the air last game, right? Slants, flats. He threw 3 passes over 20 yards. And then one of them was to a wheel route to the running back, Tony Pollard. So I'll say this.
Beautiful ball.
It's going to be hard to beat teams. Now I'm being serious. It's going to be hard to beat teams, good teams, right? Once you stop the run, then what? We got to put the ball in the quarterback's hands. Same thing we talked about the Packers.
So the Cowboys made a statement, but Dak didn't, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I thought they ran the ball well. I mean, Pollard was lights out. Zeke played really well. But my thing is, okay, you can't just beat everybody by running the ball and throwing slants, wheel routes, flat routes, and dump offs.
Here's my thing.
Win games.
Here's my thing, though, 2-5. I think the Cowboys did make a statement because if beating a 8-1 Vikings team in Minnesota by 37 points isn't a statement, then it's impossible to make a statement in the National Football League, in my mind. Unless you beat the Texans down, who's starting Davis Mills, or unless you beat down the Jags, who are just trying to figure life out right now, if you beat a team by 37 points in their house, you walked into their house.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, that was big.
You took your shoes off.
Right.
Put your feet on their couch.
Take their ball.
Bruh.
In their backyard.
In their backyard, open up their fridge.
Ain't no football man play. Give me your ball.
Like, real talk. If you do all that in the NFL, grown men are fighting for pride, for checks, for families, for followers. Grown men are fighting for all of this, and you beat them down by 37. And more importantly than that, if the Vikings aren't good in the NFC, then who is?
Right.
All you can say is the Eagles.
Yeah.
But if the 8-1 Vikings that just beat the Bills in Buffalo, if they're not good, then who is? It was rhetorical, but I hope you have an answer.
We have a question over there.
You have
No, I was just going to say, I did say that. I said that.
That they're not good?
Who is good? Who is good?
Correct.
And I will say this. The margin between great and good in the NFL, and even between great and bad in the NFL, is not as big as we think. I know you don't subscribe to Any Given Sunday, but these are all professionals.
Mm-hmm.
They all have experience. They're all playing for all those things that you mentioned. This is not college where there is a massive gap in coaching and facilities and money, and you write stories about these unbelievable teams overcoming these juggernauts. That's not the case. This is the NFL.
Right.
So I'm not going to argue that there's some big canyon between the Eagles and everyone else, but there is a difference. Mm-hmm. There is a difference to me. And there's a lot of parity around the NFL as a whole this year. I really think it could be anybody's championship. We'll see how it looks when we get to the playoffs. But when you're asking why I'm not so impressed with it, it is an impressive win. I won't say that. You got to give the Cowboys their flowers. You score that many points and you beat a team down like that, any team, good or bad in the NFL, it's an impressive win. Oof. Changing my opinion of them, maybe not so much, but I don't even know if that's the Cowboys in so much as that, doesn't surprise me that the Vikings look like this.
Dave, take us home, because I look at that win by 37 points. I never lost that bad in the league. And I was across three different teams, 4 years. Shady, I doubt you ever lost that bad in the league.
And you played for the Browns,
too, right?
I played for the Browns.
Wow.
I don't recall 37-point losses.
35. You lost for 35. But I'm sorry. Look.
I don't recall that. Dave, take us home. What statement? We know they made a statement. What statement did they make, in your mind?
I think the Cowboys' ceiling is higher than any team in the NFC's. Their ceiling.
Their ceiling?
It's on them to continue to do this. Consistency has always been a problem for the Dallas Cowboys. They got to turn around and play a division game on Thursday night. It's on them to maintain it. But the ceiling, that is the ceiling. That's about as well as an NFL team can play, honestly. And it's fitting.
I don't know.
It came against a common opponent. They took the Eagles' best win and said, hold my beer. Ooh. They did. And so when you see that, when you see them put that on tape, it's awfully enticing. I'm doing everything I can, Joy, not to drink the Kool-Aid, because there's a lot of time left. They got a higher ceiling than any team in the NFC. I don't know if that means they can deliver on it.
They told the Eagles, hold my beer.
Quarterback?
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.